guys, I am here at Fresh Church in Dania Beach, and today they are having a conference. It is called a pajama party conference. My co-pastor, she will be on the panel tonight, so I'm going to get some snippets. I hope that this will bless your life, make you feel closer to God, and I will leave all the details for this church and for this conference and all the ladies that will be on the panel. I'm not sure if there are any men on the panel, but if there are, I will link them all down below. See you in a little bit. Bye.
Okay. But I'll just give you that one for now. And the bathroom is right there. Right there.
Thank you.
Okay.
Right here, this front table right here.
Where?
This front table.
Hey y'all. Yes, I am Leslie. I am a licensed therapist. Need some water. I'm a licensed therapist, and as Pastor Sonia said, I do specialize in trauma. I helped to start an agency in Miami called the Trauma Recovery Center. And what we do is we help survivors of violence heal from trauma in a wraparound way. So I have sat with every trauma that you can think of. Thank you. I have sat with mothers who've lost their young child to gun violence. What do you say to a mother right after it happens? I've sat with people who have experienced domestic violence. I've sat with everything that you can think of. And in 2021, I myself was diagnosed with post-traumatic stress disorder, which is known as PTSD, because of the level of violence and abuse that I survived in my life. And that journey of healing wasn't easy. I didn't always feel worthy to live during that journey. And the only reason I'm here today is because of God and my heavenly welfare. And God is a healer. He's not too big to carry anything that you may be experiencing. So today we're going to talk a little bit about trauma and what that is. I know that's a buzzword. You hear it all the time. You see it all the time. Contrary to popular belief, everything you go through is not trauma. Right? Every bad experience is not trauma. But what trauma is any event or ongoing situation that causes distress, it causes helplessness, or you felt a loss of safety. And that can be anything from a loss of a pet. It can be the tragic loss of someone in your life. It can be sexual abuse. It can be physical abuse. It can be verbal abuse. It can be emotional abuse. Those are not the same, verbal and emotional abuse. It could be bullying. It could be watching someone else who's close to you, like a child or a parent, go through something traumatic. It can be an accident. It can be a number of things. And studies show that 50% of women have experienced a traumatic event. Those same studies show that Black women, 80% of us, have experienced something traumatic. And from my own work, those numbers are actually much higher. I'd be willing to say about 95% of Black women have experienced something traumatic in their life, because I deal with it every day. And what trauma does to us is, remember, it causes us to feel like we don't have safety. We lost our sense of safety. And what trauma does is that it attempts to rewrite our story. So it attempts to rewrite the way that we feel about ourselves. So when something traumatic happens to us, it can make us feel damaged. It can make us feel like a failure. It can make us feel like I'm not good enough. We can lose our self-worth. And the way that it impacts us is that it can impact us physically. So there's something called the brain-gut axis, where when you feel anxious, the first thing you're gonna say is, my stomach hurts. Because our brain and our gut is connected. We can feel it together. That's actually a telltale sign. If you're feeling anxious, you might feel it in your body somewhere. You can Mentally, it impacts us. So people who have experienced trauma, they tend to have low self-esteem. One of the ways that we try, our brain tries to protect us when something traumatic happens. So what it will do is it'll push down those memories. So that is why if you've experienced something traumatic in your childhood, you may not really remember all of the details, and something can trigger it. We've heard that word before, trigger. A trigger is something that brings that memory back. And sometimes we don't even always know what really has happened to us, but the body never forgets. Right. There's something that's called the body keeps the score. And in therapy, we talk about that because your body will tell you if something's wrong. Your body will tell you if there's a memory there. And in part of the work in therapy that I do with people who have experienced trauma is we go in and we attack those beliefs. And the first thing I say is, what did this trauma do to you that made you believe about yourself? What is the story that this trauma gave you? What is the inner story that's there? And how can we change and rewrite that inner story? One of the things that trauma does is that it makes us want to avoid it, right? So the brain is trying to protect us. The brain may suppress the memory, and then we try to avoid it. And there's something called dissociation, and this is actually the most common, I would say actually among Black women, I'm always treating that, is we don't want to feel it. It hurts too much. So we have to keep going. Strong Black woman syndrome, it's a thing. It's a real thing. I can diagnose someone with that, strong Black woman syndrome.
Yeah.
And what that is that we don't always get a safe place to be, to exist, right, to show up as ourselves, to say, this is not okay that what happened to me, it wasn't my fault. I didn't deserve it. You shouldn't have done that. We don't always get to show up our authentic self. So this is why She's So Fresh is amazing, because we do get to lay it down and just show up as ourselves. We do get to say and deal with those things that maybe have happened a long time ago, and we think that we're okay, but we're not. When something traumatic happens, we've heard of fight or flight, right? When something happens, we either fight back, or we flight. But there's some more so research is showing us that there's some more responses that we can kind of have when something traumatic happens, where we can fawn over someone or can fawn over the situation. Fawn meaning, I am going to try to please you out of this situation. So if you can look back at your life and you're like, why am I always trying to please everyone, even if they're not good to me? Maybe that fawn reaction got triggered somewhere. Or maybe we freeze. And when freezing is when you're literally just stop. And some people are going through life where they're frozen. They can't attach to their emotion. They can't attach to the sensitive side of themselves because they froze. And unfortunately, we don't always get to choose how we're going to respond when something traumatic happens. So I hear people all the time, oh, I'm a fighter, ain't nobody gonna mess with me. And it's like, I don't know, I don't know if that's really the response that you give. And if you look back at over your life, really assess, do I fight all the time? Am I trying to always fight people? Am I running away from everything? That's that flight. Am I trying to please people? That's fawn. Or did I freeze? Am I stuck? Am I stuck in the moment that this happened to me? And we can keep moving and keep moving forward. And I always like to say our body is moving forward, but our mind is not. Especially for people who've experienced trauma as a child. We call those adverse childhood experiences. So if you experience something traumatic before the age of 18, those are ACEs, adverse childhood experiences. And because they happened at a childhood age, it's very formative. That's when we're forming ourselves, forming our identities, forming who we are. And those, unfortunately, can be like the worst type of traumas to experience. So even if your parent was incarcerated or your parent was in the home, that's traumatic. That's something that we experienced as a child, and that we have to go back sometimes to grab those experiences and take power over them and say, I'm not that experience. I'm not what happened to me. We have to go back and grab that little girl and say, you're okay, you're safe now. Sometimes I see adults having tantrums, It has to always be their way. If it's not their way, the whole world is going to crumble. And the first thing that I say is, what's it the little you need that you didn't get? Did you not feel safe? Did you not feel seen? Did you not feel loved? What did you need? And sometimes we have to go back and grab her, go back and grab that little girl and say, you're okay. You made it. You survived. Which is why I started saying the abuse that I survived, right? I'm not a victim because I'm here today. I survived. I survived it. And you all survived it because you're here. And in healing trauma, sometimes, like I said, like that avoidance, we don't want to deal with it. That's actually how we treat trauma. We deal, we feel, we heal, and we seal. We deal with it, we acknowledge it, we say that this is a real thing. I'm sorry that it happened to you. If you need to hear that apology today, I'm sorry that it happened to you. It shouldn't have happened. They shouldn't have said it. They shouldn't have done it. We acknowledge that it happened. We acknowledge how I feel about it. We feel it. So many times we're trying to run from our feelings because it hurts too much. I've had people say, I thought I was going to cry more in therapy. I thought I was going to cry. I'm like, okay. And then later on, I'm like, but are you feeling your feelings? Are you feeling them? Do you want your feelings? Because sometimes they feel too much. Sometimes they feel like a burden. But Jesus says, come to me, all who are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Meaning, he is not too big enough for your pain. He is not a God who doesn't understand your pain. I mean, we kind of read about Jesus' trauma, right? I mean, I don't know what's more traumatic than your friends giving you up, dying on the cross. That's traumatic, but the word says he still chose that. So that means that he's someone that is big enough to carry whatever you're carrying. And sometimes we're going through life carrying stuff that's really not even ours to carry. You can't even carry it. Especially as Black women, we cannot carry it. It is too heavy for us. You have to give it to God. You have to give him that disappointment. You have to give him that grief of what I thought it would be like, of what I thought it would look like. You have to give him that disappointment and by acknowledging that this trauma did something to me. God, I'm sad that this happened. Maybe you're angry at him. You got to give it to him. And then we heal. We do the work to heal. And then seal means that we reorganize that memory in the brain so that we can take captive of it. So that is no longer an intrusive thought that just keeps coming back and coming back and coming back. And sometimes we worry, like, how am I gonna, like, we're just sitting there and this thought just comes to our mind and like it just feels like it's out of our control. We take it back and we seal it. So today, thank you. So today we're going to, you all have been given a trauma timeline. Okay, so we're gonna come back. So I'm giving you an activity. You all have this trauma timeline. I just want to know, just give a caveat that thinking about a trauma can cause distressing emotions to come back. I'm here to walk with you, walk through this with you. But we're not going to do the activity now, but when we come back after eating, we are going to name our traumas, right? Because I just said a lot of times we just avoid them. And sometimes we're walking through life avoiding things, and they're a real, very present thing. So I want you to just think about those things, and we're going to start to just identify them so that we can begin the work of healing.
The food was delicious.
So right now we have been broken up into 3 groups. We have to guess what the other team's woman is because the young lady gave everybody a woman from the Bible for us to act out.
3 more minutes.
Scene in the modern modern day of her story, and every team has to guess what person they're acting the story of. Hopefully that makes sense, y'all. Right now it's really cute. It's really nice in here. It's my team.
You guys got probably about 8 and a half.
Hi, and welcome to the Shackle Room, where we give you all the shackles of the people going through, okay?
Okay.
I am Yvette.
And I'm Eve.
And we have the newest gossip. Did you know what's going on, baby?
Girl, I heard what's going on, but I'll let you tell them.
Listen. There is a baby daddy test going on right now. And allegedly, she is with a little sheep. I ain't gonna say what it is, but it's a baby, a little sheep.
Ooh.
Ain't no allegedly, that's a baby.
Bad.
Girl, and then allegedly, wait, I heard somebody else coming.
No. Who?
I know you lying. I got something to tell you, girl.
What you got to tell me, baby?
Girl, I don't know who my baby daddy is.
Oh my.
Like, I know I'm pregnant. You see this on it?
But how that happen, baby? How you get pregnant? You don't know who that daddy is?
There's so many things that came to me, girl. I was asleep. I woke up. I'm confused, but I don't know who the baby daddy is.
I'm confused too, baby.
I don't know what to do.
But listen, I'm confused too because I'm like very old. Somehow I've done it.
Coming to you live. What's going
I
on?
don't know what's going on with her.
You have gas?
I think it's a little bit of gas. I've noticed it's been getting bigger and bigger.
Did you go to the doctor?
There's no doctor.
The midwife. You know what I'm saying.
I can't afford it. I'm too old.
But I thought you was married, girl.
Oh.
Let's see.
And you know what? My husband don't talk to me for months.
Your man not talking to you?
He don't talk to me. He look at me. He don't say a word.
What?
I'm gonna tell him a few things when I get rid of this gas, baby.
Wow. I think if you drink a little, let me see if I got something.
You felt that?
I was gonna give you something for the gas.
You felt that?
Girl, what is that sound?
I don't know. Ooh, she come high. Go ahead. What? You feel that?
I'm down there.
But you know my baby, let me tell you something. When you walk in the room, I felt my baby jumping inside me. Oh yeah. Maybe it's not gas, it's the baby.
Well, folks, you hear it first.
I was like, wow. Stay tuned. The Leaping Baby will let you know the father baby.
Y'all give it up a team. Hey!
Oh my god, that's too funny. Y'all did that. Y'all did that. I think that's how you can figure that out. Once you say the baby leaves, that's it.
In 5 minutes, pregnant in 5 minutes.
That's Mary and her sister, or her cousin, that was pregnant with John the Baptist, and she's pregnant with Jesus.
then baby leak them in something first.
Yep.
Yes.
Good
Oh,
job.
that was good. Give it a ring. Yeah. All right, last two, Tennessee, let's go.
Action. Scene 2. Think about it. I need a shape up. Hey y'all, hey, how are you, babies? I need a shape up, you got me? I like how you look. You looking so fresh, so clean, so holy, so cute. Ooh, I think I like you. I think I might choose you.
Thank you.
So, I like everything about you. I think you're one, and I think I'm yours.
What's his name?
Am I not?
Yeah, I think so.
Maybe Naomi. Naomi and
Okay. Give it up for Ruth C. Give it up for Ruth C. And the multiple C. Come on now. All right. Any ideas?
Pick up.
Y'all do a job in here. All right, what you got?
I'm not sure.
I'm sorry? That's everybody here. What's your name?
What's it when Boaz found Ruth?
I don't know. What y'all think?
Good job, guys.
All right.
The things I think that is very important. Would you like to? One of the most vital parts of our lives is relationships. And there's no coincidence that the Bible consistently talk about how we deal with not just ourselves and Him, but other people. He said, how can you love me? You don't even love the person that you see every day. Ooh. Bars. So this is what the Bible is full of, these moments like, no, get off the altar. Leave the altar, leave your gift at the altar. Go find that person that you have a problem with or have a problem with you. Get that right and then come back to me. This is what like the Bible is consistently saying. So obviously God feels a certain type of way about the type of relationships or how we have relationships. Somebody say relationships.
Relationships.
So tonight we have amazing ladies First, we have none other than listen, let me tell y'all about it. First of all, she has the most amazing smile in the world.
Aww.
And she has, just all over, like, viral social media. Like, she's taken over as it relates to friendships and really dropping nuggets after nuggets after nuggets, how to have successful relationships, or even how to lead successfully to relationships, friendships. So pure friendships are here with us tonight, none other than Samantha Lee. And then next, none other than my dear sister friend, and she is known, oh my goodness, I think she does pretty much, talking about a serial entrepreneur, boss lady. She's killing it in the church and the marketplace. She acts, she models, she's a queen, she's a prophetess, she will preach a house down, and she look good while she's doing it. So listen, this is about to be good. Our segment is what about your friends? What about your friends? What about your friends? I hope some of y'all brought y'all friends with y'all today. And it's probably good that some of y'all left some of y'all friends home.
You got your friends, brought your friends.
What about your friends? Okay, so tonight we are going to, and listen, feel free, the vendors are still over there. They have some amazing products over there. Please do not leave. They'll be here all weekend. Just get their information, find out what's going on with them. They'll be coming and sharing their products with us. So please.
I missed a couple of products, and I just want to say,
but they'll be restocking tomorrow all the things that they sold out. So listen, we about to get into it. Y'all ready, ladies? I am excited. These ladies are gonna give it to you. Like they're not gonna sugarcoat it. Y'all know how we do it here, and they're just gonna give you the real. And then at the end, we'll have time for some Q&A. How many people ever said, "I don't do female friends"? Yeah, or said it before. Maybe the Lord delivered you from something and now you do. But at one point in your life, you're like, I'm just done. I'm just done with the whole thing. Yeah. So that's a lot of us in the room. This is a serious topic that I really want to talk about and discuss tonight. So I have these amazing ladies, of course, along with Mary, my dear friend. She's back with us for round 2. And we're just going to have some time. We're going to have a good time tonight, okay? So the first question, and we're just going to throw it out. What is a friend? I mean, like, I know we use it a lot. We use the word a lot. We see it a lot. We see it in the Bible. The word friend. Like, what is a friend? I mean, either one of you guys is friend.
So I'll start by saying this. I think the most important thing that I've learned, where God has really shown me friendship, is understanding that it's a decision. It's a commitment. It's you deciding to, connect with someone on a certain level, but God tells you what that level is, because there's different levels to friendship, right? So you might meet someone that's an associate or an acquaintance, or you might meet an Elizabeth or a Ruth. It's really deciding that I'm going to commit to this friendship or this level of friendship because it has to ship me somewhere. So a friend is someone that ships you somewhere, but as a Christian or someone with wisdom, you want to find out where that destination is. It could be as simple as somebody helping you walk through a door, or someone holding your hand or saving your life.
Okay, so we gotta stop, because she just said a whole bunch of bars. So you said that friendships shift you somewhere.
They ship you somewhere.
Friendships. So they ship you somewhere. The question is, where are they shipping you to?
And whether or not you have a revelation of that. Because sometimes, and I think this is why we have such a hard time just meeting people and really showing ourselves to be friendly, like the Bible says, is because we automatically go into situations like, oh, this is going to be my best friend. But God didn't tell you that. God might say, okay, this is an acquaintance. This is a connection. This is somebody you need to connect with professionally in business. But we're so quick to make it personal because we think it's about us. But friendship is really about God. It's really about how He wants to use you as a conduit, as a vessel.
Yes.
And I think that's what has made me grow even more in friendship, because I go into it and I say, you know what, God, when I meet someone, I'm going to automatically be friendly, but I need God to tell me why this person came into my life or why I walked into this room. It's very important for us to get to a place where we're searching for revelation, so that way we can call anybody a friend.
Yes.
Because we understand the levels of friendship and how we position them in our lives.
That is so good. Do you want to expound on that?
I love what she said, and I wholeheartedly agree, because that's what was in my spirit. I had to learn what friendship was, and that some people are just an acquaintance. Some people are an assignment sometimes. You meet these people and they're broken, they have all these different things going on with them, and it may not be for you to be their best friend or to have them in that certain space, because I do believe that there are certain places that certain people should be placed in. And this came from me just going through so many hardships with people, because I'm very open, easily to connect to people, and sometimes their intention is to sabotage you. Their intention is to get close to you, to find out how you do what you do, or just the spirit of envy to tear you down, to expose you. So you have to be very careful in understanding that sometimes a person may be an assignment, they may just be an acquaintance, they may be a person that's in your life even for a season. To me, friendship is loyalty. It's a person that will have your back even if you're not in the room. It's a person that will have your back.
Back up. I do that. So you said they will have your back even if you're not in the room.
Have your back even when you're not in the room. Cover you even when you are messed up. And I'm not saying condone you, but correct you in private, chastise you in private, let you know to your face you messed up. Because friendship isn't always pretty, it's real. You messed up, you ain't got no on. But in the open, I will never let somebody expose you. I'll never let somebody tear you down. I'm not going to sit in the corner with people and talk about you because I'm your friend. So to me, friendship is really the loyalty of what will you do when I'm not in the room? What will you do when I'm at rock bottom, when I don't have nothing to offer you? Because sometimes friendships are conditional. I'm connected to you because I want to be connected to her. I want to be connected to her. I want to be connected to him. So you really got to really look at the loyalty and just the level of honor that someone has for you. To me, that's what I've learned through my years of friendship and what friendship really is. It's not perfect. It won't always look perfect, but the loyalty, the love will cover it, and it really will go a long way.
Listen, that's so good. And you said something. You said that who that person is when you're not in the room, or how their response to you when you're not in the room. But not even when you're not in the room physically, but when you're not in the room mentally. When you're so drained, when life has gotten you so down, where you're not able to be available anymore. Like, what is their response to you when you can't let them borrow money, when you can't go out to brunch, when you can't have a conversation with them and sit on the phone with them for hours because you don't got it? You know, even in things that maybe happen in their lives, you want to show up for them, but sometimes, can we be honest, sometimes we just don't have it. And a lot of times we're so quick to say, you know what, they didn't show up for me. Oh, they wasn't here. But life is. Hello? Life is lifing all the time. It doesn't stop. And have we ever thought about when life is lifing for us, it's lifing for somebody else too? So the very fact that you meet somebody is probably the same thing for them. You know, so maybe you want to call, I know I'm down, I know I haven't heard from them, but is that normal? Is that their regular character? If it's not, then reach out to them. Hey, don't automatically just say, make it personal, right? Oh, she having fun. Oh, it must be when that my new dress. She always wanted my dress. Like, why are we making up stuff on people? Like, they didn't even see, you know, they don't even know what's going on. They got their own stuff going on. And a lot of times we don't give our friends grace. You know, we don't give our friends grace to be human and to be wanting to be alone sometimes. Go ahead.
So, and I love that you said loyalty, because that's so important in friendship. But one of the things I knew for a fact that God told me that I have to be loyal to Him first. And I think we forget that with our friends, because when we do have those moments where we have to retreat, or we're weak, or we're going through depression or personal things, who do we go to? We go to God. We're spending time with God. We're spending your time by yourself, you're meditating, you're praying, you're reading your Bible, you're really trying to receive something from God. You can't be in everybody's face. And so, really, God is your first friend.
Yes.
So it's really, I'm spending time with my best friend right now, because I need to get myself all together, and I think we forget that. That I'm loyal to, I have to be loyal to myself first before I can be loyal to anybody else.
That is so true.
And it's the God in me. You get what I'm saying? And I think we forget that, and we lose that grace, and we just think, me. Well, she didn't call me, I ain't gonna call her. Oh, I didn't hear from her, she didn't come to my birthday. But you have no idea what she's going through. When she could just be spending time with God, trying to get her whole life back together.
Y'all know how important it is to spend time with God.
Yes.
Because if y'all don't get up and pray, y'all know y'all been slapped by 3 people before you get to work. And especially that person that comes to your desk right at 8:02. You're like, what are you doing at my desk at 8:02? Like, the work hour just started. Like, I'm about to slap you again, but
I'm not even awake.
But I'm not even awake until 10 o'clock. Like,
Bringing a whole lot of heat to your desk.
And so
You gotta assume the best, don't assume the worst when there's silence, you know? I think that's big. I've had to check myself with that over the years as well, you know, because we're thinking about ourselves, how we feel, you know, what we're going through, and maybe we need our friend at that moment. We don't hear from our friend, but maybe that's the moment God's telling you need to sit with yourself in this moment. There's a reason why, you know, so it's not, maybe they are going through something, but maybe this is God giving that space to you for you to sit down and be with yourself and hear from Him, and stop reaching out to that person, because then they become your God, right?
Yeah.
You get all your opinion, you know, all of your advice from this person. And maybe God set him down somewhere so that you can sit your behind down and listen to hear His voice.
Yes.
And not just getting your source from your friend.
And then if they're a good friend though, even though they may not be reaching out, I'm sure they thought about you. I'm sure they prayed. And even they feel bad that they can't be there. They may not voice it, they may not have the capacity to do it at that point, but eventually, give it some time. Y'all will talk it through. I remember when, you know, my season when I was sick, and I remember reaching out to Mary. Y'all know Mary's my great friend. And I remember reaching out to her, and I was like, I'm so sorry I'm not there for you. And she's like, girl, what in the world are you talking about? And I was like, I'm just not there, I'm not available, I don't have it. And she's like, listen, you are the priority right now. Like, you gotta have friends to say, be able to put themselves on the back burner. I know I got my stuff, yeah, I wanna talk to you, whatever the case is, but you're the priority right now. I know you're going through some stuff. I need you to get well. I need you to get through this. I just want you to know that I'm behind you. Like, do you have those friends that will, like, just get in the back sometimes? Like, you got to ask yourself, is it always about them? Is every situation about them? You know, so here it is. Okay, so next question. What are some disqualifiers? What should we be looking at in our friendships, and what are some disqualifiers? Basically say, okay, I don't, 20 years, you may be friends, 10 years, you may have been friends, 3, 2, just met them last week. What are some disqualifiers? It's, people do some things, people say some things, none of us are, perfect, but what are some things just to say, red flag, y'all need to cut it?
So many things I could say, but
oh, she got a long day, so done. Check.
I think the most important thing, of course, besides family, I think as friends, you should be respectful to your friend's family. Your friend's family should be off limits. There's just a code, a girl code like this, and don't talk about a mama, don't talk about a kids, don't talk about. There's certain things that you just should understand as friends that you just shouldn't cross. But for me, I think the biggest thing is when you are not able to be yourself fully with someone. When someone has the ability to take you out of character, out of the will of God, and out of the purpose of God for your life. When someone has that type of power over you, and I'm saying this from experience of what I've gone through growing up. I'm a PK, I've been in church my whole life, and I had some friends that were like, girl, you like this church thing, like, girl, you gotta cut that, like, come on. And really, some people are very forceful and pressure you a lot. And when you find those people that try to put you in a box, try to get you out of the will of God, try to take you out of character to where you can literally look up one day and you're no longer yourself, you've taken on this person's identity. That is something that to me is just completely disqualified. We're not going to be the same. I got a twin, and me and I ain't completely the same. We're not going to be the same. We're not going to always speak the same language. We're not always going to still, do the same things. But just when a person has that ability to take you out of character, to take you out of the will of God, for me, it's a no-go.
Well, yeah, for me, just from what I've witnessed in friendship coaching and just speaking to a whole bunch of people about a lot of stuff, communication. Communication. Because I feel like if you cannot communicate and you don't know how to effectively express your feelings, go to people and confront things, talk about things, actually sit down and come up with a solution, even if you need a break. And we were talking about that earlier. I just think it's not that hard to send a text back, say, hey, I'm not feeling it right now. I just need some time. Communicating as opposed to I'm going to ignore the phone calls. Right. I'm going to ignore the text. I'm going to act like you don't exist. Scroll through social media, like what I want to like. They watch. Right. They watch. Right. Communicate. In the story. Communicate. And I feel like
this person in the story.
Exactly. And as soon as you communicate, it can really dissolve a lot of the other issues about getting you out of character, having you fall into these different traps in your friendships. Just communicate. And I realized my best friendships are the ones where we were able to talk, even if we didn't talk for a year or two after that. Right. Because we'll come back and reconvene because we actually communicated before we departed. If that makes sense.
I agree. Listen, I always say this thing, everybody's owed a conversation. And if you don't think they are worth the conversation, you should have never been their friend.
Exactly. That's good.
Like you was wasting your time and wasting theirs. Because a lot of times we kind of like, oh no, I'm done. We just kind of be done with people. But give people the grace to have a conversation. Be truthful with people. Even if you've already made up in your mind that it's a disqualifier and you're done. Just like you don't want to be left not knowing, they don't want to be left not knowing either. Because the worst feeling is to go throughout life, somebody rejected you, abandoned you, left you, and you don't know the reason why.
That's good.
So even though, yes, we're talking about things, sometimes you got to cut people off, we understand that. You do have to cut some people off, but never just leave and not tell them anything. Okay? Give them the grace to have a conversation. Even if you got a good text message and you block them right afterwards. Because got them toxic people. Y'all know the toxic people. Y'all know the toxic people.
What did text message say? I ain't talking to you no more. Blah.
Oh yeah, and I'm blocking you after this. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Just have a conversation with them. Send a message. Hey, I don't think this is the best, friendship. And say, I think it's time for us to just cut it. They may. Here's the thing. Watch this. They may agree.
Some people block you before you can block them.
Yeah.
Right.
You trying to text to get through block me.
Block me. I waited too long. But here's the thing, because sometimes the feeling isn't mutual, and you guys are just extending it over and over, just trying not to hurt the other person's feelings. They was like, I ain't like you no more either. I see them been up.
My God.
So here's the thing, be honest with people, because we want people to be honest with us. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay, so the next question I want to ask you, Samantha. Can you have a friend who's jealous or in competition with you?
That actually I posted something about that today. It wasn't no for me. Absolutely not. It's really hard to have a friend who is jealous, who's in competition, because they'll constantly challenge you in ways and you don't even know it. Sometimes it's very, very subtle. It's an internal thing. And I truly believe that friendships really, they're mirrors to us. So when people meet us, there's things in us that's going to show them what's in them or what they need to work on. So if they see you as this high achiever or someone that's constantly determined doing what you got to do, they're going to constantly feel like they're in competition. Instead of saying, you know what, instead of being inspired by you, they're like, oh, I want to compete with her, or I want to do these type of things, not realizing that it's really an insecurity and something that they need to work on. And that's why I tell people to identify these things, because I pray this prayer, Lord, don't let me be jealous of nobody. Me and my friends get in this prayer circle. We pray to each other. I don't ever want to be jealous of my friend, and my friend don't ever want to be jealous of me. And it's a constant thing you gotta say, because the enemy will constantly plant these seeds and be like, oh, she gonna get there before you do, or she gonna do this. But you gotta stay in that mindset of like, I'm not in competition with this person, but what I am realizing is I do need to work on my time management.
Yes.
I do need to work on my finances and how I manage my money, because she got money, or maybe she's in school. Maybe I need to go get an education or get a certificate or something. Ask yourself, what is it that I need to work on? What insecurities I have in that moment, and be inspired by your friends. But I can't do jealousy if they want to stay there. Right.
Yeah.
I can't do competition if you want to stay there in competition.
Right.
I can bring it to your attention. We can confront it. We can talk about it and say, this is how I feel. This is what I've noticed by your comments, the side comments that you make, or constantly trying to do little things that just side eye. You know what I mean? And if sometimes they don't even know, y'all. So you come and you bring this to their attention, and they're like, oh, I didn't see it that way. And they have an opportunity to change. Now, if it's a constant jealousy, constant stuff, then yeah, you gotta let it go. You gotta let it go, because it's gonna stop you from where you need to go.
Absolutely, because friendships, they're taking you somewhere. They're shipping you somewhere.
You said so many things that were so powerful. One of the things that I live by, and especially when I pour into women, the first thing I always say is never be jealous of another woman's success or their beauty. For me, I'm big on connecting myself to women that are like-minded, that I see have stuff. Well, that's why Pastor Sonia is my friend. Because we think alike. I look at her and I get her. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, we can do something. Because you got to understand that if you are the strongest person in your circle, if you're the only person in your circle that got it together, if you're the richest person in your circle, then that's a problem. You have to be connected to people that you can glean from, that you can learn from, that can inspire you, that can empower you. That's what friendship is. What you don't have, I have. What I don't have, you have. So I think that the enemy really attacks women in the area of jealousy, mostly because he knows that it creates discord, disconnect from people that we should be learning from, we should be gleaning from, that has the key to our next level. But we see them like, oh, she thinks she ought to, or she whatever, blah, blah. But this one got the key to your next level.
That's it.
Got the key to your deliverance.
Yeah.
But jealousy is crippling it. So, I really love that you brought that up, because it's just such a sore thing in the kingdom of God, where the enemy is really using jealousy to disconnect women that can do powerful things together.
And we are so powerful together. We are so powerful together. It's unfortunate, like you said, like that cancer that comes in and just eats away of our unity and our strength as women of God. So here's the thing. I want to ask this question. We can start. He's going to start. I'm going to go all the way down. Okay? So platonic relationships and romantic relationships. So platonic is regular friendships, and then you have romantic relationships, right? Which one is more valuable, and which one is most valued? Which one is more valuable, and which one is more valued? You guys have an opinion, tell me.
Which one is more valued?
Yeah, so it's a two different questions. So which one is most valuable? And then just how things are in life. Which one do you see is more valued among people?
Well, let me start with the last question. I think that just the way that society, this generation is now, there's more value on a platonic, a romantic relationship. Romantic relationship, wanting to be married, in a relationship. There's so much value put on that. When I believe that it should be equal. Platonic relationships are just as important as romantic relationships. But there's so much grace, I guess, because sometimes it's approached from a place of desperation. In romantic relationships,
Watch it.
we extend grace to men that steal, cheat, abuse, lie, have outside. I could go on and on about
y'all ain't loud enough in this room for me.
that is extended in the romantic relationship. And you got a friend that done slept in a one bedroom on the floor with you, done ate Roman noodles with you.
Say it again.
Went to their mama house and got food for you, borrowed money from their grandma for you, and they made one mistake.
And you cut them off.
And you willing to throw a 20-year friendship away.
Out the window.
Say it again.
See nothing like it in my life. And you holding on to the abuser, the user, the cheater. And that friend has rolled with you.
Say it again.
Wheels fell off, came back on, flat tires, listen, on the bus together. I could go on. Listen, I could go on sharing each other clothes. I mean, a covenant relationship. A relationship that is like a Mary and Elizabeth relationship. And I see women throw these relationships away and just willing to, extend grace to men. Or even the men in the room, but they do the same thing. But as women, we really got to put the equal value on both. And I'm not saying that every friend is meant to stay in your life forever, because there are some people that will come and go. But that sister that is your covenant relationship, that this is your prayer partner, this is your Elizabeth, you should be willing to fight equally and have the same value on that relationship as you would as on a romantic one.
Fight equal. That's good. That's good. Yeah, that was a whole lot.
That's a lot. I think I'll just add that for me, I'm not saying that romantic love is not important, because I do believe it's on God's heart for us to have that. But I feel like, I don't know if I'm biased, I feel like friendship and platonic relationships are a little bit more important. And I'll say that because I do believe God wants us to be fruitful overall, right? And I believe romantic love allows us to reproduce, have children, and whatnot. But I believe it's the friendships that actually move the children around, if that makes sense. So you need the vessel. Yeah. Yes, I need to have the babies and produce, but who is God going to use? Right. Because we like to say, God bless me, God gonna do it, I can do it all by myself, but the reality is, God uses men to bless me. It's always gonna be like that. Whether you can see it or not, there's somebody behind that door that thought about your name to open it. Right. So yes, reproduction is very important, and we need the love, we need romance, but we need platonic relationships in order for this world to go around, in order for God to really use us as vessels for real. Because your man and your husband ain't gonna be able to do it all.
Bars.
And honestly, if I can add, it's also important with your husband. Your husband should be your friend. Yes. Not just, you shouldn't just have a romantic relationship with him. This is why a lot of relationships are failing, because there's no more friendship. You got to be friends. If that ain't your friend, y'all like, listen, 20 years when you ain't fine or whatever going on, what y'all gonna talk about?
Nothing.
What y'all gonna relate about?
Nothing.
So friendship is very important when it comes to your romantic relationship. You can't be with a man for the rest of your life that you don't like.
Yep.
Don't like you.
Say it again.
He just fine.
Listen, this is so good. We're gonna ask you, we're gonna do one question after this, and then we're gonna go to Q&A. But one of the things that I realized about the difference between platonic relationships and romantic relationships, and I think why we lean so heavily on the romantic versus the platonic, because romantic relationships changes identity. Yes. But here it is, platonic relationships changes character.
Come on. That's good. That's good.
And many times, why we lean so heavily on the identity change, because we're so heavy on perception and how people look at us.
Yeah.
And so the romantic relationships validates us to say that we're somebody. Again, there's a shifting of how people see us.
Status.
The status. It changes our status. It changes our name. So it literally changes our identity. But however, we are not as heavily on the character change.
Mm-hmm. Say it again.
The scripture says, faithful are the wounds of a friend. Meaning, what they words, the things that they say, the things that how they tell you about yourself, and say things that other people won't say to you, and identify things in you that you may be missing or have not noticed about you. Those things, and come on, have you ever been, there's been some things your friends have identified, like, no girl, you do be tripping.
Yep.
If your spouse won't say to you,
That you
want to fight with you.
Exactly.
So they got something to lose.
So it's like, no, you be tripping. But no, I can't believe she didn't. No, but you be tripping though. No, you was wrong. I had your back, but you was wrong. Yeah, I'm talking about real friends. That was pretty. That was good. I got you.
I love you,
but that was good. I'm talking about real friends, and if your friends are not doing that, they are not friends.
Yes, ma'am.
They somebody else. They may be not an assignment, they may be an assassin. And they was placed in your life to watch you drown.
Yep. Help you.
And to put things in your path and to promote that foolish and toxic behavior, and to push it until you kill yourself. And they're gonna be right there saying, I told them not to do it. Wow. All right. And that is and you have to watch those people that is letting you letting you destroy yourself.
Yep.
You think that they're your friends and they loyal and they just want you to have fun. No, they don't care about you. Because if they cared, they would have said, no, stop drinking yourself to death. Stop it. Like, you drunk every day, like, stop it. Stop cursing everybody out, stop it. Stop it, stop being so nasty all the time. Your attitude is nasty, just stop. Like, and if your friends are not telling you that, something is wrong. Something is wrong. So here it is, last thing, because we gotta go. Are non-Christians or non-practicing Christians? So that's what they Christians but don't practice it. Yeah. So are non-Christians or non-practicing Christians, are they automatically off the table when it comes down to building friendships? Non-Christians or non-practicing Christians, are they off the table as it relates to building healthy, whole friendships? What do you guys think?
I personally can definitely say it's not off the table for me, my own personal experience. I do think that there's boundaries that should be set. For me, being a pastor, my friends are like, oh Lord, she pastor, we can't play with her like this, she gonna be in her feelings. But I have friends that are not even believers, and they've come to Christ because of me. They were like, this Jesus you got going on, child. And they become believers just because of me. And then I have some friends that still trying. They challenge me every step of the way, like, tell me about the guy, tell me about the maker. When you say, what happened about you? But you have to be strong. And this is where, your own personal relationship with God comes in. You have to know who you are. You have to know what's off limits, know how to draw the line, because we're not going to constantly be surrounded by believers. God sent us to the world. We can't just keep preaching to each other. I guarantee we throw this mic around. Everybody can add a little piece of the word because we're all believers. We have to go out. We have to be amongst them, but not of them. So, for me, I definitely can't say it's off limits, because I've had a lot of friends that have grew into great relationships that are healthy, that respect the God in me, who I am, and those boundaries are there.
I think that's a good point. The boundaries are so important. And I do think how they came to you is not how it may always be. Like you said, they may come to me, an unbeliever or a non-practicing Christian, but that may be my role in their life, to help them to, bring them in, bring them closer to God through me being an example or our friendship. So I wouldn't say it's off limits. I do agree with you about the boundaries, right? Know who you are, and don't get swayed. We're not supposed to move the other way because they're in our lives. If they're not drawing us closer to God, questioning us, not allowing them to take us off course, but understanding our assignment. And to your point earlier, knowing what role you have or what role that person plays in your life. So I don't think it's off the table. I just think you have to have that wisdom, that discernment, and have those boundaries.
Yeah. That's good. Y'all enjoy these ladies? Okay, so we're gonna get into some Q&A. Because I think y'all look like y'all got some good questions out there, and we want to make sure we have time to get a couple of them before we end tonight. So Brittany has the mic. Just raise your hand if you got a question, and she'll bring it to you. Any question, throw out any question about what we're talking about tonight, or anything that we may not have hit that you want us to take up.
Hello, everybody. So I have a question. We were talking about like sometimes like friends they go through stuff, so they may have their time where they need to be by themselves, or they can't come out, they can't really, be connected and show up for you. So what if they never show up for you? Like they never, they never come out, like we invite them but they don't come out. They just don't show up. Like I will show up for them, whatever, But what if they never show up? Like, as me and them personally, and then like as a group of friends, like they just never like show up. So how do you go about that?
I think that people they may not see you as the way you see them.
Mm-hmm.
You show up for them because there's somebody that you want to show up for. And they may see you in a different light.
Wow.
You know, because everybody, I say people show up for who they want to show up for.
Yep.
That's it.
You're not a
You gotta
priority.
pay attention and see that.
Absolutely. So when I be seeing people and they heart and they like everybody else stuff on social media but mine, I don't know about y'all, but I notice that.
Yep.
And I ain't being petty, I just notice it. I don't say nothing, but I notice it.
So what do you do, and I like that question because I'm actually, this is a safe space, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Not with Pastor Sonny, but I'm experiencing that with one of my friends I've known for a while myself right now in this moment. And I haven't picked up that phone because to me, I'm giving a lot. I give a lot. And if I don't feel I'm receiving it, and that has been a pattern in our relationship, and I get stuck in the place where I'm not really sure. I have to really sit with myself and wonder if I should be questioning whether I'm giving, or I'm expecting out of my own loyalty, or if they're worthy of my loyalty. Right. That's different. Because of the friend that I am, I have an honor code for myself. This is how I'm your friend. This is it. Can't nobody tell me nothing right about my friend, right? So that's my loyalty mindset. And then of course, I hope they're worthy of that. But that can be separate too, right? So they aren't necessarily worthy of my sacrifice. It's my own honor, my own way I handle my friendships. But I'm curious, what do you do? Do you give them time to reach out or be the friend that you are to them? Or do you just let it be because you got the message loud and clear that they're not showing up for you in the way that you would hope they would?
So you got the message. Did you communicate that with your friend? Because we might have been our feelings, but we do not talk about it. Again, communication is so important. Because if I feel like my friend isn't showing up for me, I'm going to tell you.
Yeah, I'm gonna put you on the spot. I've done that. I've done that already. I've had that conversation once. I had a conversation because I'm a communicator, and I feel like you can't charge somebody with a crime without them knowing. And if I bring it to your attention, tell you how I feel about it, this hurt me in this way, this is my expectation of our friendship, and you're still here. You say you signed on still to be, and then it happens again, then.
So question, what if somebody, you go to them, you have the conversation, right? And you say, you ain't showing up for me, right? And then they say, I get it, but I don't show up because I don't feel that I should.
Or they can't.
Or they can't. Or they don't want to. Not in that way. Maybe I'm not a baby shower shower upper.
I don't go to public events. I don't like public thing in the
with you though. Because they showing up for somebody's baby shower.
But could it be?
Because the meatballs and you showing up for somebody's baby shower. The food is too good at the baby shower.
But here's the key. Friendship is a two-way street. I may be your friend, but you may not be my friend.
And that's
what I'm saying.
So you may be her friend, and she may not be yours.
They have to see you the same. You can only have the expectation from what they give you, not by what you give them.
Yes.
Absolutely, yes.
Because by what you give them is a reflection of how you feel. What they give you is a reflection of how they feel. Now it's up to you to make the decision whether those things align and you feel that there's some reciprocation that is worthy for you to maintain whatever it is that you feel that you have. You have to make that choice whether or not, oh, this is going to stay here, or I'm going to back up because this is where you are. Not saying that I'm going to eliminate you from my life, because that's not always the case either. But I just have the right expectation now.
Is it worthy of a conversation though once you've made that decision? Now, once you acknowledge that what exists, do you then have a conversation, or is it okay to just get the message and it's okay?
I think the conversation is necessary. After the conversation, if the behavior doesn't change, then at that point, you get the message. Yeah. Oh, I got it. I'm sure you had the conversation.
So, it's deep, y'all.
Yeah.
So, if you go to somebody and they tell you they can't or they don't want to, or
Y'all love this coffee table conversation. We just having this conversation.
I've had a friend of like 10 years tell me that they didn't support me because they didn't have it in them to support me. And at that time I could have felt like, okay, well, you're not my friend, and go off in a tangent about it. But number one, I had to recognize, do I know my friend? Do I know who this person is? Do I know the type of person they are? Because they may not be the person that I'm expecting them to show up as. Number two, do they have the capacity to even carry what I'm about to do? God's telling me capacity.
That's big.
You don't have the capacity to do it. You're going to tell me I don't have it in me to support. That could be mentally, physically, it could be financially. You want them to show up to your 5-star restaurant, baby, they ain't got it. You get what I'm saying? But we have to really think about who do we have these high expectations from, and really get to know our friends for real. Because when they don't show up, it will make sense. And then you have the opportunity to make a decision on whether or not this is the friend for you in this season.
If you know your friend, here it is. If you know your friend, when they don't show up, you will know why they didn't show up.
There you go. That's it.
It'll make sense.
Yeah.
Even if it's bad, you know, yes, I get it now.
I get it. That's good.
Communication is key, like you were saying earlier. If that's your true friend, even if they can't make it, you will know, but also they should be able to communicate with you.
Yes.
That's good. We gotta take another question. That's good. Yes.
That's vetting. True vetting.
My question is, how do you handle a friend who seems like they do not respect the people surrounding you? Like when do you stop being so understanding to their insecurities where you're not aiding them anymore?
What do you do when you have a friend that is not sensitive or respectful of the people that basically in your circle who you love, who you care about? So what, they are disrespectful to them, or talk about them, or just have negative things to say, or just not respectful of that person around you?
Yeah, like because of their trauma or their situation,
Okay.
like how they dealt with friends. And the thing is, if you know that I'm an affectionate friend and that's why you became my friend, you cannot be upset when I'm sharing myself with my circle, because I take pride in being a good friend. So when do you stop being so understanding to their insecurities and their trauma? And it's like, now I have to check you, because at some point you don't have to love how I love my other friends, but at some point you have to respect that they sitting at the table too. Good question.
Friendship competition.
Lord, this could go so many ways. You may be in that person's life to help them go through that healing process. So you have to decide how much you want to endure with them.
Ooh, that's good.
Because you could be the key to their deliverance. You could be the person that can open the door to show them that this is how you respond with a whole group of friends, with a whole group of people. Because you should never have to dim down how you love this person so that person can be okay, so this person can be okay. So I would say, as long as you feel in your spirit that this journey you can be on with them, then you go. but you have to draw the line. A conversation needs to happen. You need to let your friend know, listen, I love people, I'm a people person, I'm never gonna stop being this. And be real, because if this is gonna be a friend that will be with you till the wheels fall off, you can let this friend know in love, I think you need healing. I think you need to learn how to deal with people. Bring them to church, come to the altar with them, let this be your first start. You know, because you never know. And then if that doesn't work, then you know you have to move different.
Sounds like a territorial friend.
Very territorial.
That sounds like a territorial friend. But I'll say this, just to add, in opposite of what you just said, but I completely agree with everything you said. But ask your friend why. Why don't they like the people that you hang with?
Right.
Why don't they agree or respect this person? Because it may not be that they're jealous. It may not be that they don't want you to share your love with other people. You might be hanging with people that they don't think you should hang with for particular reasons. Because if I'm your friend and I see you hanging with a drug addict, and I can say your friend's a drug addict, so just give me an example. If I see you hanging with a drug addict all the time, I'm gonna ask you about that. You have people in your corner, so it's really figuring out this person that doesn't want you to hang with nobody, what value do they have in your life? What place do they have in your life? If it's a covenant friendship, somebody close, or just an acquaintance or a co-worker, ask yourself, okay, do I value this person's opinion, number one, and then say, okay, well, why don't you like it when I hang out with these group of people? What do you see that I don't see?
Yes.
Because your friends can see your blind sides, right? And I've had friends tell me, man, I don't think you should hang out with that person because this person is like this and where you're headed. Because your friends might see where you're headed more than you do.
Mm-hmm. That's
so
right.
Where you're headed, you don't need to be hanging with this person.
That's right.
And you may not feel it because you're affectionate and you're friendly. I was that girl. I'm friendly with everybody now, I let everybody in, but I've learned boundaries and I've learned to listen to the key voices in my life because they might see something that I don't see. So really having that conversation with them to ask those questions.
So not just going to the fact that, oh, you just be territorial, but why are you so adamant about sharing your feelings about this person to me?
Well, I think on another lesson we talked about earlier, trauma. So what I'm saying that for is because sometimes it could be they see in your friends what you don't see, but it could also be because something has happened to them to where they may have, put their trust in someone and thought it was just them and that person, right? And then now find out that person has these other relationships or other friendships and that loyalty aspect. It could be a number of things. So you do need to ask the question, why does it hurt you? Or why do you feel away when I am sharing my love with my other friends? How does that impact you? Because it could be something in their past as well.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good. One more question. Right here. Two more? Okay, two more. So the young lady in the back, ponytail, the beautiful natural ponytail here.
If I'm scared to be my man around my friends, how do I know if it's my man or my friend?
Say that one more time.
Wait, what?
So this is about to be real good. We didn't flip this thing at 10:30. What time is it? Whoa! Here we go. I thought we could hear you.
If I'm scared to bring my man around my friends, how do I know if it's my man or my friends? And if I do bring my man around my friends, how do I know what they're saying is true? Like, oh, he's not good for you, but I love him, but he ain't nothing. I don't care if he's nothing. I'll make him something. Like, how do I
Whoa! We want to go on relationships tonight, but relationships is tomorrow. But let's talk about the friend tonight. We're gonna talk about that. You're gonna make up something tomorrow. can't skip over that. Wait, go ahead, sweetheart. Go ahead.
But, okay, so the two, how do I know if it's my man or my friends, and how do I know the words that they are saying is true about my man when I finally bring him around and introduce him to,
If you say, so like, if you're not sure if your friends want you to be happy with this person or don't want you to be happy, and that's why they're saying that about it.
Basically, you don't know whether or not they're jealous or they have your man.
Yes.
I hope you got no friends in the room.
All your friends single? All your friends single or married?
They're with somebody.
One is engaged, one is like me single. I know, I'm
In general, but
I'm
they-
single, but I finally decide to have a relationship, and I want to bring him around my friends.
They got something to say.
I want, right. So
Yeah.
how would I know if it's my man that's the problem, and I don't see what they see, and he might not be right for me, but I'm fighting.
What's the history there though? Meaning, how often does this happen?
The character is what's gonna respond.
Here's the thing. Friends don't forgive like we do. So they just saw you all crying. They done came to your house at 2 o'clock. They done did drive-bys with you. We done saw him in the mall with somebody.
Somebody scratching up cars.
We done build a whole Facebook profile, a fake IG, just to instigate your situation. We invested in this. So if we do all that investment and we find what we've been trying to find,
We don't trust it.
and now we wondering why in the world did I waste my time being FBI and when you was gonna go back to him anyway? What you just wanted to know? Oh, I just wanted to know how many people you was living with ugly.
The receipts never lie. The
Not to
receipts.
say that's your situation, but we just kind of went somewhere else. I'm sorry.
You sound crazy, but no, for real. The receipts never lie. If what they're saying, there are receipts for it, then that's the answer, right? So you gotta look at the fruit. What type of fruit is he bearing? Is he who they say he is? Because you know that, you will know. I don't care what someone says about a man. If you're really with this man, you saw his character, see who he is, you know if they're telling you or they're not. So you really have to ask yourself that question.
But are your friends coming from a place of love?
Right, they're being protected, like, we know your history, girl. And if you bring someone that's just like your history. And it's go right with you, it's someone different.
Okay. I think because we should have tackled this at 7 o'clock. But here's the thing. If they are saying things, just like Pastor Delta said, and the receipts line up, they're being truthful with you. And they keep saying it because they're looking out for you. They don't want you to do the same thing over and over and over again. That's it. That seems like what it is to me. Now, a lot of times, us as ladies, we see opportunities to change people for. I'm trying to go through relationships tonight. We were created to raise sons. We were not created to raise men. The reason why we're so frustrated because we got it switched up. Our man is our son, and our son is our man. And we got to reverse this thing and start raising our sons better.
Right.
So the next one won't have the same problems trying to raise a boy. But you cannot raise, change,
Fix.
a man. You are wasting your time. Only God can change
Fix.
a man. I need you to point to yourself right now and say, I'm not God.
I'm not God.
I don't have the power. I don't have the wisdom.
I have the wisdom.
I don't have the strategy.
I have the strategy.
I don't have the goods.
I don't have the goods.
That's gonna change him.
That's gonna change him.
Oh, y'all need to run that back because some of y'all think if y'all give it to him good enough, he'll change. Now, I said I wasn't going there. Y'all know
But you doing it.
Go ahead.
I just want to add one thing to what you said about the friendship side. Because I can't go friendship side. Y'all, we need to be honest with our friends.
Mm-hmm.
You know, especially when it comes to who we're dating, who we're interested in. And a lot of times we question whether or not people are going to accept them because we already know and we already seen the red flags. And so we're worrying and we're saying, oh, my friend not going to like them. No, you already know and you need to be honest with the people who are It's about honesty and really looking at yourself and remember, like, you know, he may not be the one. You saw the red flags. They don't even have to bring the receipts.
Showed you who he is, believe him. Believe him. The first time. Listen, we gotta go. Did y'all enjoy this panel?
We have one more question.
We gotta roll it. One more. We're gonna get one. But Dominique, it was you. Okay, we'll take Dominique.
I wanted to know, she said a while ago about friends allowing your man, I'm sorry, it's her, that your man should also be your friend as well. How do you deal with that, not with the man, with your family? As far as like, you know, your immediate family, the people you see every day, the people you're always with, the people you're hanging out with, you kind of lean on them to be your friends. Like on my sister's dad's side, I pretty much grew up with all of them. And those became my friends. Like, we are our best friends, so we did everything together. You know, we went out, we ate, we did a lot of stuff together. But it came a point where I was expecting for them to show up for me like I would them. They would invite me to go to parties and, you know, beach parties and whatever it was. When I came like I made my presence be known. I brought gifts. I made you feel special. I do events. I do pop-up shops. I do all of that stuff. And they have not yet come to one of my events, and I've been doing them for the last 3 years.
Girl, we your friend.
So, not one. I'm talking about even down to my sister that we shared the same bathwater with. Until it was convenient for her as far as she was getting something out of it, right? So it's like I pretty much paid her to do a promotion on her social media because she has a large following. But with the other sisters, like it was so deep till they're not biologically my sisters. They're my sister's sisters from my mama. So they were offended by, like if I invite you to come over to a pool party that they're having at the house and they're there. So I would address them and say, hey friend, this is my sister's friend, my sister's sisters. Because if you're my friend, you don't really know them like that. You know what I'm saying? So this is how I address them, and they had like a whole intervention for me. Like, oh, we don't like that you call us your sisters, and all kind of stuff. So I had to be sensitive to their feelings when it came to that. And I stopped doing it. So I labeled them, these are my sisters. I know that bothered y'all. But when it came down to, oh, when I want to express something to y'all, hey, I don't like the fact that my two business partners they family traveled from all over the world to come to our first event. None of my family members showed up. None of my siblings, my sisters, none of them showed up. So how do I differentiate the friendship side of wanting them to be, because now I can't to them and I'm like, yo, look, don't invite me to nothing because I'm not coming. I was real salty about it. I was hurt. I was in my feelings. I cried and everything. And it just allowed me to, she said, don't pull away from them physically, but I did. I wanted nothing else to do with them and I don't. But if I see them out on the streets or whatever, I speak. But I don't go to no housewarming. One of them just got a house. I don't do none of that. Don't invite me. Don't invite my son to nothing. We're not coming. And I still been like that. Ever since this.
Wow. That was a lot. That's real, and I can feel your
frustration, your hurt,
heart and passion. That those are real feelings for you.
Yeah.
And the thing is, they're family. That's what makes it sticky. I will say that, the Lord had His reason of why He placed us in families. Placed us in situations that we can't get out of.
Yeah, so I feel like you trapped, you constantly just deal with them some kind of way.
Yeah, that's what family is. Friends, without that you can kind of just choose, but family you can't.
But they're not my family, they are family.
Yeah, so she's basically saying I can. But here's the thing, even though you was born into a family, you can always choose what access they have to you.
Yes.
And that's from the top down. It can be grandma. But if grandma toxic, you got to set boundaries. Because at the end of the day, it is your peace, your sanity, your joy that is on the line. And you can't love someone else more than you love yourself. The instruction to love people always came with the prerequisite of loving yourself. Because that's the only way you know how to love them. But if you're not loving yourself enough to know that you're worth happiness, you're worth peace, you are worth living a healthy life, not full of drama, and to have reciprocated relationships, you got to know that you're worth that, and then create the boundaries accordingly. So like we talked about earlier, if they don't want to give you that, that is okay.
Yeah.
But now you have to adjust, not say that you don't have to love them anymore, but you have to operate in a place to where you're not depleted when you're around them.
You don't love them though, to them, if you are able to finally tell them no.
Yeah.
You tell them no.
We just talked about that Sunday, right?
Like you can tell them yes, like your whole life. But that one time you tell them no, you the devil.
You're the devil, right? Absolutely. That's called unhealthy people that don't like boundaries. That's called manipulation. That is what that's called. And what we have to do, we have to come into terms with what it is. And a lot of times that hurts the worst. Just settling with the reality of who a person is or how they see you. Because the frustration is you see them act a certain way towards other people, but they don't act the same way towards you. That's the frustration, because it's not that you don't have the capacity, that you don't have the capacity for me.
My God. That's good.
So it's about coming into terms that you're worth whatever it is, your standard, and coming into terms that they're not willing to do it for you. They're not willing to reach it.
Hey guys, I just got back from the pajama party. So it's part of a women's conference, which is called She's So Fresh, and it is geared around different topics for women. It started yesterday, which was October 27th. Today is October 28th. I don't think it's going to go up tonight, but it's going to be still within the week when I post this video. They have a brunch tomorrow, which will be Saturday, and then they have something for Sunday as well. But I was blessed enough to attend tonight's event with my co-pastor, which is my pastor's wife. Her name is Pastor Delpha Samuels. I'll tag the other young ladies that was on the panel tonight from what you saw earlier in the clips before. So yeah, it was a really wonderful experience. I got a goodie bag. Inside the goodie bag was a fan, a pen, and a light, like a little ring light you can put on your phone. So when you're out and about at nighttime, you need an extra boost of light, it'll be there to illuminate your pictures or videos. So that was really cute to get in the little goodie bag. And of course, I got a little tote bag to go with it. And so here is my general admissions pass. So yeah, you can scan the QR code to get more details on the conference. I don't know if it's their first year doing this conference or not, but I would definitely attend it again if I'm able to. And I would definitely suggest, if you're in South Florida, that you attend the conference next time it comes around. I will link everything about the church, which is called So Fresh, down below, and all the women who were on the panel, including my co-pastor.